What the hell, Ru? I thought we had a deal. You're the one that asked me to go in there. I was just about to get on the plane. I don't care. Like, I've cancelled bookings and stuff for this, yeah? What is this, loss of income? That's the loss of income. Well, you better start making it up to me. You know what? You can start with send me one of those statuettes. And then we'll be all good. Don't worry. Fine. It's fine, boo-boo. It's fine. Okay, ciao, darling. Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye. 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 What a bitch. Very well indeed. Welcome back to the Kiki. Thank you so much for joining me again for episode 3. Oh my god, right. So a lot of stuff was like going on in this episode. So I'm going to try and like filter through as much as I can because it was a weird one, right? Let's get this out of the way, right? First of all. So after last week's episode, which was A, fantastic and B, bumper sized. Also, speaking of bumper sized, has the pit crew's packages got bigger? Like when they walked into the thing, I was just like, damn, like, are they stuffing? Like, that they look bigger than normal. Have they had some kind of surgery? Have anyone else noticed this? Like, tell me. But anyway, bumper-sized last episode. This one felt a little bit more rushed, for want of a better phrase. Like, the challenge itself was so kind of demanding and kind of elongated that really there was very little time for like anything else. But we'll get onto that like properly. But am I the only one that kind of felt it was a bit of an odd episode? Okay, so let's like get into the mini challenge, shall we? So the queens have to like dress up as judges. They have to like take the traditional robes and like make them more fabulous. All the while that Ru is still wearing a different hat. Like, did he get them on like discount at Costco or something? Like bulk buy? Because where's he pulling these from? Actually, you know what? Don't answer that because I really do not want to know where he's pulling them from. So yeah, so the queens like have to dress up as judges, and right, Cynthia looks like a young sort of cracked out version of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, doesn't she? Like that hair, like with the glasses, a little bit spaced out. I imagine that's kind of like what Ruth Bader Ginsburg looked like after like, you know, the Supreme Court justice, you know, hazing, because there's got to be like one. Like, you've seen that episode of Family Guy where they like have to run through the obstacle course with like a cherry between their butt cheeks. I can totally see her doing that, right? And as well, I can totally see Cynthia doing that, but like not for a hazing, but just for like, you know, fun, because hey, cuckoo! Also, I'm so glad that Bob went first because his laughing throughout the rest of it was just everything. Acid Betty's look was like Violet's entry look, you know, that kind of purpley thing, but like as if maybe Violet was wearing that in like 20 years' time after going out on a severe night of heavy drinking. Was a little bit busted. Also, this is just like affirming my love for Acid Betty. I know I like hate her and I love her at the same time. I have this weird like love-hate thing with her, but like I really am liking Acid because like last week's mini challenge, she looked like, you know, drag Jafar, and then this week she looked like, you know, drunk Violet. Like, I'm loving her mini challenges because she just looks like whacked. Speaking of looking whacked, Robbie Turner, oh my god, she was giving me Gypsy Rose Lee on a drug bender or illness. Oh my god, so she had that like, you know, jeweled beard thing going on. You know, I was half expecting her to say like, cross my palms with silver and I shall tell you your fortune. Pity that she couldn't tell her fortune about what was coming up later in the episode. Okay. Because, you know, a silver dollar make her holler. Not that she's cheap or anything, but $1. Which is about roughly the same amount of money that she paid for that denim outfit that she wore later on. Ooh, bitch, she went there. And oh my god, right. Did anyone else see, oh my god, Chi, darling, I love you. But you really need to take the labels off your bottom of your shoes. Did anyone else see that in the mini challenge where she like turns around like booty pop? I mean, I can't do it because like, you know, I'm a tall white boy. But on one of her shoes, the stickers underneath, still there. What's she gonna do? Return them to Target for $5? So anyway, Naomi wins the mini challenge. No idea why, to be honest. But anyway, she wins it. Ooh, shade! And she becomes one team captain of the Maxi Challenge, which is RuPaul's Empire, like, you know, a parody of the TV show Empire that I haven't actually seen. So I'm not going to get like any of the references in this episode, am I? No. And then we get the big reveal where RuPaul is about to reveal which queen is coming to join the competition. And is it going to be a past queen? Is it going to be a present queen? Is it going to be a future queen? One that we haven't even heard of yet. And it's going to be what? Naisha? Okay, Naisha. Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Nature, but I said in the first Kiki that I felt kind of sorry for her, that she got a bit of a bum rep, that she kind of went out so quickly, because I know that she's fierce, but like really that was so anticlimactic, like really? And as well, Rue says like, oh, as a welcome back gift, you can be the other team captain. That's a bit like a slap in the face to the other queens that are still there, isn't it? You get onto the first episode, you do a shite job, you get sent off, you leave for an episode, you get to come back, and then you get to be captain of a challenge and boss everyone around. Really, queen? Mm-mm. But did you see the height difference between Naomi and Naisha? Oh my god, that was so funny. It was like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Can you hear me down there? No. Oh, it's probably for the best. So they pick their respective people, and like as they're starting off, like Robbie Turner actually is like a very good team player. She's trained actress and she's giving everyone really good pointers, I feel. But obviously she completely forgets to like learn her lines, which is like cardinal rule number 1, look after yourself. It's a competition, dog eat dog. Don't get no prize for being nice, well apart from Miss Congeniality, but I don't think Robbie's trying for Miss Congeniality. Not with the amount of shade that she's been throwing in the confessionals anyway. But she was giving good points, so I will give her that. So then we get to the actual challenge itself, where they're sort of, putting it all together, and like Faith Evans is there, and she's giving direction, and RuPaul's there, giving direction, and there's all the others come on stage, and they don't know what they're doing. And the thing about like Team Nature, because Team Nature went on first, right? The thing about them was Kim Chi is clearly, like, I'm starting to learn this, because Kim Chi, I love Kim Chi, I love you darling, love you, but Kim Chi is clearly like just a look queen. She has really struggled with all the challenges so far. Like obviously last week's dancing challenge she struggled, this one was an acting challenge and she it just looked very stiff and wooden. Granted, she's a very quick learner and she took direction very well, but even then like the end result was a little bit like stilted and just a bit like, okay. So although I'm pretty sure Kim Chi's gonna go like really, really far, is she gonna like prove herself enough outside of just being a look to warrant being crowned America's Next Drag Superstar? I don't know yet, like remains to be seen, but Kim Chi, you better turn it out because you're good. Like, go for it, girl. Go. Call up what? So then like they do their thing and like, that seems to go pretty well. And then a team, Naomi comes on and they like, basically the same principle. Although, gotta be said, Bob was funny, like, which has the best one to slap a hoe? But as well, did anyone notice, my god, Bob and that sodding purse? I get it, Bob, you made it in episode 1, but it's been in like every scene, like, walk into the room, purse first, clack! Girl! Like, we get it, we're proud of you, darling, we're proud. What do you want, a gold sticker? Do you want me to like, stick it to the fridge? A+ in handbag making. Seriously though, as much as it is like weird, I am kind of loving how like attached she is to it. It's like I kind of imagine like them trying to pry it out of her fingers, like the producers going, give me the purse, Bob, never, you're not taking my baby! Not that she's got like some sort of complex about it or anything. But the improv from Bob was absolutely spot on, very, very funny. And that outfit, can we talk about that outfit? Darian Lake wishes, darling, she only wishes. That was clearly what Darian Lake was thinking in her head when she was doing that Bejeweled d'Elegance, whatever it was that was just like saggy Princess Leia. Like, Bob turned it out. That looked real elegant, girl. Also, I just want to like point out at this point that the sort of amount of time that they allotted on the show to each team was about 2 minutes of airtime for the rehearsals, right? They did almost the same amount of time for the little chat between Robbie and Thorgy about Thorgy's mum. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a very sort of touching, heartfelt conversation and one that actually hit very close to home. Like if you know about my other videos, what happened last summer, I won't go into it too much because obviously it's a bit depressing and I'm trying to keep everything lighthearted. But it was a very heavy conversation that hit home for me. But I was like, they've allocated a lot of time to this. And the thing is, it was kind of at the expense of other workroom interaction. Like normally there'll be a bit of chat in the mirror while they're doing their makeup or, whatever it might be, there might be something a little bit more lighthearted. And it was just sort of an interesting editorial choice, I thought, that they devoted such a long amount of time of an episode to something very, I'm trying to think of a word here, I don't want to say depressing, but kind of sad. Especially since we weren't getting any other workroom related interaction that episode. So it was very much dominated by Thorgy and a bit by Robbie. So it was just, I'm just pointing out, I'm not sort of coming for it, I'm not reading, I'm just saying it was an interesting choice that they gave so much time to that conversation when there was no other workroom interaction going on, really. And also, while we're talking about like time management, this I think was another reason why the episode felt a bit odd. Obviously, compared to the previous episode, whichever one came after the hour-long bumper special was always going to feel a bit weird. But this one especially, because I was looking at the time on my little, the time bar at the bottom of the screen, and we were on the runway before the halfway point of the show. Like, has that ever happened before? Because that just seems almost crazy that we are straight to that. Like, there's been such little stuff beforehand that then the rest of the episode is dominated by what happens on the runway. I mean, yes, I get it that the main challenges, the actual skit, the acts themselves were very long. They were about, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes each. So obviously that eats up a lot of time in a 40-minute episode. But the thing is, those bits were kind of dominated by just one part, which was chocolate chip cookie, right? So Thorgy and Bob's parts were basically the linchpin of that entire performance. There were so few lines for the other queens there that it just felt very weird, again, that they would allow such a long sketch, which is pretty much centered around just one queen in each group. Not only is that an odd choice because it means that only 2 queens that episode are really going to get a lot of airtime, but it also is a huge gamble that if one of them does particularly badly, then it's going to be like a massive chunk of time that's just going to be like really painful and cringe to watch. I mean, if Kimchi had stayed as chocolate chip cookie before Naisha swapped them, would she have done a good job? Like, if we can go by her vanilla wafer, it would have been really rough to watch. And it would have just been like, oh, come on, girl, like, really? But I suppose it's neither here nor there, because at the end of the day, Thorgy and Bob did a fantastic job, absolutely kudos to them. But it was also a little bit weird to me that the other queens would have so few lines, Acid Betty had a line and a half, it was 10 words. Chi-Chi and Naisha had literally nothing to say. And the whole was it Ginger Snap, the sort of the butch lesbian, not only have they used that kind of character in previous seasons, and that's always been a monumental disaster because it's so hard, a boy playing a girl that's pretending to be kind of butch, that's a hard role to play. I don't envy the ones that end up with that one. But even that was there wasn't much airtime for that kind of role either. So it just seemed a bit a little bit skewed that odds were that only the main role would ever win that challenge. I just can't imagine a situation where the judges would turn to any of the other queens that aren't the main role and be like, oh yes, you did such a good job, we're gonna let you win this challenge. Because there wasn't really anything in that challenge that I think they could use to create a winning performance. Do you know what I mean? Am I the only one that thinks that? I'm not trying to be shady, but I'm just this was a very odd episode. It was a really fun episode as well. Don't get me wrong, I laughed hard. But at the same time, I was sort of feeling I was laughing at just 2 queens and none of the others. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy the sketches, but it just seems a bit odd that so early on in the competition they would allow an episode to be pretty much dominated by just 2 queens. So then we get to the runway and the queens are having to do roller skate runway realness. Try and say that 3 times when you're sober. So Naisha Lopez comes out with this Olivia Newton-John Xanadu fantasy, and then as she's skating along, she falls down, it becomes more of a Xanadu knot. Acid Betty looks like one of those bosses from that game Doom. Do you know what I mean? She's a little bit monster dragged out Doom hell nightmare kind of thing. But I actually kind of liked it, especially the one thing over her eye, because then she looks a little bit less menacing when she's staring you down, because it's just one of them. It's half as intense. Derek Barry, I kind of liked this look in a way, but it just felt a little bit it needed a little bit of polishing, do you know what I mean? I'll be the first one to admit, I'm not a tailor, I've said this before, I'm not a tailor, but just when you look at that outfit, I felt there was a little bit more that she could do with it. In the sense that when she does Britney, she does Britney. It's perfect. You cannot clock that it's not Britney. She is down. I mean, she's clearly got this meticulousness about it, but she needs to take that skill and transfer it to other aspects. If she's trying to show us Derek Barry and not just Britney, she needs to take that skill and put it to the rest of her looks, and I don't really think she's doing that. Bob the drag queen on skates was just sublime. I loved it. I thought it was really funny, and especially at the end where she's like about to fall over and then she like catches herself and makes it look like fabulous. That save though, that save. Absolutely incredible. Love her. So Cynthia Lee Fontaine's outfit. Oh my god. Oh my god, Alyssa Edwards, I think you have a reprieve. I think you no longer have the worst dress in Drag Race history. Because whatever the hell Cynthia was wearing, I don't think it can be classed as an outfit. I'm sorry, girl, I love you, you're funny as shit, but bless her little cotton socks from Fruit of the Loom. And Robbie Turner's outfit I actually really liked. I thought it was very much a throwback. The hair I thought was really, really cool, like, you know, victory curls and all that kind of thing. Was it victory rolls? Whatever. Something victory anyway. And she can work those roller skates, honey. That was fierce. So then we get to see the actual final product of what the queens have come up with. So Thorgy did a fantastic job, like her smacks were on point, as were Bob's. Bob did a fantastic job, but Bob's improv was just amazing. That whole thing like, you thirsty bitch? Dump a glass of vodka on her and just walk away. I'm stealing that. That is just epic. And also, can we just like have a little shout out as well to Naomi? That hair, it really reminds me of the hair of that woman was wearing in that video that went viral about the McDonald's in Dorset. You know, the one where she was like, excuse me, bitch! So we get to the judging, and it's the same old thing over and over again, and Carson actually like reads Michelle a little bit with this whole kind of like, be you, but don't be you, give us less, but more. That was just like, it pretty much sums up half the critiques that the girls get. I thought it was like actually kind of on point. It needed to be said, what can I say? So Bob wins the challenge, understandably so, and unfortunately Robbie and Cynthia fall into the bottom two, despite the fact that Cynthia was so funny on the main stage where she was like, yeah, I did a good job, I don't know what you're talking about, I think it was really funny. That alone was just hilarious. And the girls get to choose whether they dance in heels or in wheels, and Cynthia's like, give me the heels, and Robbie's like, bitch, wheels. Can I just say, I lived for Acid Betty at the back, just like, ooh. So the girls are singing Mesmerised by Faith Evans, and oh my god, I have to admit, I was completely mesmerised by Robbie Turner. That performance is going to go down in history as one of the greats. I think because how many queens can honestly say that they knocked out a fellow queen in a Lip Sync for Your Life whilst roller skating? And doing a good job of it as well. That bitch turned it. Also hilarious how she flung herself off the stage at the end, and how she broke a light as well. Which is then kind of funny because Cynthia, in the previous episode, broke a light with her shoe, didn't she? Don't forget. And then Robbie, the next episode, breaks one on the stage. It's kind of like the curse of Cynthia and Robbie. And unfortunately, Cynthia lost the Lip Sync for Your Life. Robbie deservedly won. But what was quite funny is as Cynthia was sashaying away, did you notice that that bulb that Robbie broke was fixed real damn quick? Am I the only one? Am I? Did anyone else spot that? Let me know. But yeah, so Cynthia has gone home. Unfortunately, she was very, very funny, but she just tripped up and had a bit of a bad episode. But she has allowed herself to be shown off to the world, and she is like adorable. She's so funny, so whacked out. And as well, she's clearly like so lovely. All the queens have been saying how nice she is and how kind and how, you know, how she looks out for everyone. So like, I just want to like cuddle her because Cynthia is just epic. So guys, what did you think of the episode? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the challenge? What do you think about the Lip Sync for Your Life? What do you think about the eliminated queen? What do you think about Naysha's return? Oh my god, there is so much going on. Like, where do we even begin? But yes, comment with anything you've noticed or just how you're feeling. Just put it in the comment section below and let's get Kiki, guys. But I think that is everything. So thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten to this point, thank you very much for sticking with me. Please drop this video a thumbs up, leave a comment. And if you have not hit the subscribe button already, there should be a little button down there somewhere. Please click that for me. Come join the family because we're all friends here, and then you'll get updates every time I upload a new video. Also, to continue the conversation, please follow me on social media. I have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for Chris Says It. You should find me. But until next time, guys, be good, be safe, keep out of trouble, stay fierce, and I will see you guys next week. Take care, love you, bye! Mwah. I don't know what he's trying to do, but oh no. It's like Yosemite Sam is leading a pride parade and he's put on like his most fabulous hat. Like, no!